Hey guys, welcome in. Thanks for clicking on this video. If you are new here, it's so super nice to meet you. I'm really glad you're here. I am. That is the truth. And we're going to talk about Brian Kohberger's latest court appearance, which was just a few days ago on Friday, September 27th, where he and his team met the new judge. So I want to talk about the new judge, some things that happened in court. I have to say I am pleasantly surprised, and I'll get into why that is the case. Before we get started, though, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell, and if you are already a member, double check a subscriber. If you think you're subscribed, make sure you're subscribed and that your notification bell is on, because I know sometimes people aren't receiving the notifications that I've posted a new video, and I want you to watch the videos. So this was a status hearing in Ada County in Boise, Idaho. If you don't know who Brian Kohberger is, he is a young man, I think he's 29 now-ish, accused of murdering 4 university students by way of stabbing. It's a really god-awful case to look into. It's awful for everybody. So there's a new judge because Kohberger was allowed to change venues, change counties, and in fact, get a new judge. And I don't know if they knew they were going to get a new judge, but they got a new judge, and I think they may be sorry they asked to move counties. I'm happy about it. I'm very happy about it. I'm going to show you about a 5-minute clip of some of the goings on in the beginning of this court hearing, and I want to know how you feel about the judge. Who is this judge? His name is Stephen HIPPLER. Okay. Stephen HIPPLER. This is in Boise, Idaho. He is a judge of the Idaho 4th Judicial District. He assumed office in 2013. His current term ends on January 4th, 2027. HIPPLER ran for re-election for judge of the Idaho 4th Judicial District. He won in the general election on May 17th, 2022. So he got his undergraduate degree from the Boise State University, where he then continued on receiving his JD from the University of Utah. I'm going to give my 2 cents on this guy. Of course, why wouldn't I? I like it. So far, so good. This guy, in my opinion, isn't pulling any punches. And also, my opinion, he's knocked what's her freaking name? Ann Taylor. He's knocked Ann Taylor down a notch or 2. He is basically telling everyone, but I think he's directing his speech to Ann Taylor. Be professional, he says. Don't be dramatic, he says. Now, we know he's telling everyone. He wants everyone to hear. But who have been the dramatic and the over-dramatized and the over-complaining and whining? That's been Kohberger and his team. Kohberger was wearing a suit in this court hearing. If you watched the court hearing, you may have noticed, however, he is wearing his suit, he's handcuffed. He's got his hands kind of under the table in front of him. It's like he doesn't want to be seen handcuffed. Well, I get it. You know, it makes you look guilty, doesn't it? It makes you look it appears as though you are guilty of something criminal when you're in a courtroom and your hands are cuffed together. Yeah, well, that's why you're there. We all know that, we're supposed to have an open mind and innocent till proven guilty. But honestly, I'm sorry, if someone's sitting there with handcuffs on, there's a good reason for it. Has he been falsely accused? In my opinion, I do not believe so, but that's just me. We don't judge based on Audrey's feelings, do we? No, we go by evidence. What's the evidence? Well, they're going to get into that next summer. The judge starts out his introduction basically saying, "Hey, I'm not happy to be here, but I'm here. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. None of us want to be here, especially me." And the judge does bring up right away the fact that Brian Kohberger is wearing a suit and has been allowed to wear the suit just for that day in particular. It was approved. Can you imagine not having the freedom to wear what you want to wear? That's awful. And that's one of the penalties you pay when you do a crime and you've been caught and you're in the process of being convicted. I can imagine how frustrating and upsetting that must be. I do think if he's allowed to wear his suit or whatever his street clothes are to court every time he goes to court, then that needs to be the law for everyone. Anyone who's in court, been arrested, on trial, making a court appearance, whatever the case, you can't just say, okay, well, this guy over here, he's high profile, there's a big following for him, he's going to threaten us that if he doesn't get to wear a suit, he's going to find some loophole or gray area and get the whole case dismissed, I mean, that sounds crazy, but that kind of stuff does happen. Cases have been dismissed for the stupidest things. So let me have you watch this about 5 minutes of this Judge Stephen HIPPLER.
All right. Good afternoon. This is State v. Kohberger. I'm going to go over the appearances this afternoon on behalf of the state. Would state attorneys please represent themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Bill Thompson. I'm the Lake County prosecutor. This is Ashley Jennings. She's my senior deputy. And then we have Mr. Nye and Ms. Beatty from the Attorney General's office. And then we have victim support staff with us.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Defense?
Ann Taylor, attorney for Brian Kohberger. Elisa Massa and Jay Logston, counsel for Mr. Kohberger as well.
Thank you. All right. I'd like to tell you I'm happy to be here, but why start with an untruth? I am accepting of my responsibility to be here. I want to go over with you some expectations of mine, given that I don't think any of you, other than Ms. Massoth, have appeared in front of me before. When you file memorandums of law, briefs, etc., please provide a Word copy by email to my staff attorney. After today's hearing, you may get that from the staff here today. Today, I know there was an issue that was brought up with respect to Mr. Kohberger's attire for today. I did issue an order yesterday permitting him to appear in civilian clothes for this hearing only. That is a matter in terms of future hearings that we will take up in a closed hearing the day of, but in advance of whatever our next hearing date will be. My intention will be that Mr. Kohberger will not be present for that hearing because part of what we will be discussing are security measures. And I expect to hear from the transport deputies and the bailiffs regarding security issues that they want to address or that I have questions for them about. So that I can make an appropriate ruling in terms of his appearance here, but weighing that not just against, of course, his rights, but also against the needs of security in this case. do expect, as it probably will come to no surprise to you, for you all to get along. I understand the stakes in this case are as high as they can possibly be in any case, but you are professionals. You have taken oaths, both as of officers within your jurisdictions, but also as attorneys before this bar. So I expect at all times for you to remain civil to one another, that you not engage in personal attacks, ad hominem attacks, that you not engage in theatrics, not mistake the facts or the law to the court. And when you cite arguments in your briefs, if there is contradictory precedent, I expect to see that. I appreciate in advance what should go without saying that I've just said in terms of your responsibilities. But again, I just want to highlight that because I understand when the stakes are high, sometimes victory seems to be the objective when our first objective is to conform to the oaths that we've taken as members of the bar, as officers of this court. All right. I do have some matters with respect to scheduling that I want to go over today, but before I do that, I'd like to hear from you with respect to the matters that you either need to make me aware of or want to make me aware of. The other thing before I do that, though, I do know that Judge Judge had entered a non-dissemination order. That still remains in place. And unless I, for some reason, remove that order, it will stay in place, and I expect it to be religiously adhered to by all parties, counsel, victims, counsel for the victims, and I will not tolerate violations of that. Likewise, I know that much of the evidence in this case has been subject to orders sealing under that dissemination order or otherwise have been sealed by the court. I likewise expect everyone that has access to that information, whether it's sealed documents or information in sealed hearing or the information itself in the documents, to adhere to the confidentiality expected as it relates to those.
So what did you guys think? How do you feel about this guy? I don't feel like he's taking sides per se, but I do feel like he's saying, hey, we're going to level the field right here, right now. So Miss Ann, you need to just take a step back, relax, do your job without all the theatrics. Now there's a situation where the judge doesn't want to have the trial start in summer of 2025. No one's around. Everyone's on vacation, right? The kids are out of school. So you have that aspect, or you have people waiting all summer to go on vacation. They work really hard all year to take that summertime vacation, which we all need. We all need vacation, so don't be taking my vacation time away. So he's suggesting either May of 2025 or later in the year, end of August or September. And of course, Ann Taylor wants it to be later is better for her. Also, Brian's attorney, Ann Taylor, says one of her experts has passed away. So this is an expert she hired to work on the case for their benefit, for their side, for the defense. This person has died. So this person's been doing work for a while. They knew this person was ill, and the person did end up passing. She will not say what specific area of defense this was for. And she flat out says, I'm not going to tell you because then that's going to give too much away to the prosecution. You know, they're going to know what direction I'm coming at them with, and that's not going to be good for my client. So it's a big secret, whoever this person is. It'll come out once the trial starts. But they have hired a new person, new professional expert to replace the one that's passed. They want this person to get up to speed and really know this case inside and out to a personal level like Ann and her associates are at. overall, I feel better about Judge HIPPLER being the judge versus Judge John Judge. I think Judge was, how do I say that? Scared. Scared to upset either side, the prosecution or the defense. I think he wanted to make everybody happy, which is not a logical thing to do. You're not going to make everybody happy in a court case like this. One side or the other is going to be devastated. So I think this guy is completely not emotionally involved with the case or the people in the case. The families, judges are there for justice. But I would like this judge to know there's no justice in murder. I just wanted to let you know that, sir. That's how I feel. So, I am trying really hard to cover the fact that I got spirits coming in. I keep having to stop talking, and I'm sure it's making the video real choppy, so I apologize for that. I apologize for the choppy video. This is spirit. I tell you guys, every time I do a video, this is what happens. And I didn't get a drink for myself. So that's what we have from Friday's status hearing. Again, pleasantly surprised. Let me know how you feel about the judge, whether you think Kohberger's guilty or if you think Kohberger is innocent. There are people who think he's innocent. That's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. I still listen, and I still respect you as a person and an individual. You're allowed, so what? That's what makes the world go round, isn't it? And yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see if he's allowed, if Kohberger's allowed to wear his suit or street clothes to future hearings. And when the trial starts, we shall see. All right, well, thanks for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you again real soon in the next video. Take care. Ciao. Subscribe, like.